everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I have a few swatch charts here, and in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about why it's so important to swatch out all of your colored pencil sets. When I was very much a beginner, I never swatched my colors. I would just pick and choose colors from my colored pencil sets. But way back then, when I first started coloring, I started with very small sets. But I know a lot of you that are watching my videos have sets that have 120 colors, 150 colors, and even the Black Widow set has 180 colors. That is quite a lot of colors, and so I'm going to show you in this video why it's so important to have all of your colors swatched out and how it will help you quite a lot when you're trying to put colors together and plan out your coloring pages. If you check the description box down below, I'll have everything linked down there that you see in this video, as well as links to my email list, my Facebook group, my Etsy shop, and my Patreon if you'd like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. You can find more information out about that by clicking the join button down below the video. So like many of you that are watching this video, I have quite a few sets of colored pencils. And so I do have a swatch chart for every single set of those pencils, except for probably a couple of the newer sets that I just got. I think that I still have to swatch out the rest of my Derwent Inktense, but I really wanted to put those in some kind of order, so I haven't done it yet. But all of these that are sitting in front of me, I have taken the time to put all of these into color family order, right down to the undertone of every single color. But if you're interested in any of these charts, they are all available in my Etsy shop, and all of the color names and the color numbers are already filled out for you in order. All you have to do is grab them and swatch your colors. And you'll see as I move further into this video why it's so important to have your colors laid out in that way. Now in this video, I am only going to be showing some budget sets. I'm not going to be using any of the higher end sets. And the main reason for that is this video is very much geared more towards beginners. And I know a lot of you can't afford the more expensive sets, or you may just be starting out with a cheaper set off of Amazon. So those will be the only swatch charts I'll be referring to in this video. Now this one here is my Artex swatch chart, and there are 126 colors in this set. Again, they are all swatched out in the order of the color wheel and then all down to undertone. So here's my color wheel, and I'll just show you really quick. If you look at my swatch chart, you can see that I start with yellow, I move into the orange yellows, then the yellow oranges, and then into orange. And for most of my sets, when I'm putting them into color family order, I always try to stick my peaches or some of the beiges. This one's called beige, but it has a very much orange undertone to it. So I try to stick those right there in between before I get to the true shades of orange. And then just like you see on the color wheel, I start to move into the reds and then the red violets. And then of course we've got our pinks as we start to get into our purples. And then from the shades of purple, I go into the blues, and then we've got the blue greens, and then our greens, which go all the way up into here. And then of course I go into my browns and then my grays, and I usually always stick my fluorescent or my very bright colors way down at the bottom. And you can see that every one of my swatch charts is very much like that. This is for the Grisaille set, which I also put in color family order. There were only 72 colors in that set. Then I have my Crayola swatch chart, and y'all, I must say, I love looking at this chart. The way the colors just flow together on this one and all the very unique colors. If you've been watching my videos for quite some time, y'all know how much I love my Crayolas. There's just so many unique colors in this set. And then I have my Black Widows, and like I said, in the Black Widow set, there are 180 colors. So we have 90 colors on one side, and then I flip it over and I have 90 colors on the other side, making a total of 180. But there are some absolutely gorgeous colors in this set as well. I especially love my Black Widow set and my Crayolas. So I'm gonna first start with my Crayola swatch chart, and I have my Crayolas here, and I wanna share with you the number one reason why it's so important to swatch out your colors. Now, if you look at the swatch chart and then you look at the barrels of the pencils, you could probably already tell that they don't match up. Now here is the Lemon Glacier, which is a gorgeous color. It's a very neon yellow. It's absolutely beautiful. I use this one all the time on my coloring pages. Here is the Lemon Glacier on the swatch chart, and if you look at the tip of this pencil, you can see that it definitely doesn't look like a neon color. I'm going to hold the swatch chart up a little bit closer, and I'm going to lay the tip of the pencil right here next to the color, and you can see that they definitely don't match up. And then as for the barrel of the pencil looks very different than what the color is on the swatch chart as well. So like I said, when I was a beginner, I never swatched out my colors. At this point, I can't even imagine having all of these colors and not being able to actually see them. When you have so many colors and you are trying to plan out your coloring page, you don't want to be pulling colors and trying to lay them out and test out every single color and see what colors go good together without having a swatch chart. If you're having to do that and go through all that trouble, it's going to take you a lot longer to actually be able to sit down and spend time coloring. So the swatch chart actually saves you a lot of time. It does take quite a long time to swatch out all your colors, but in the end, it's definitely worth it. Now, the Black Widows are a fabulous colored pencil set. And like I said, there are 180 colors in total in this set. But all of these pencils, they do have the name and the number and the color on them, and they do have the color dip tip. But the color dip tip is not necessarily going to match the color you see on the tip of the pencil or the color that goes down on your swatch chart. Here is the green slime. Here is the tip of the pencil. And you can probably see that the tip of the pencil looks a little bit darker and a little bit more muted than this actual color. As you see it down here on the swatch chart, the actual color is a little bit brighter than what you see coming from here. The tip of the pencil looks quite a bit more muted. And if I turn it around, this is what the tip of the pencil looks like, and they definitely don't match at all. Again, this is much brighter, this is much more muted, and the color does not even look the same. So if you did not have any of your colors swatched out and you were just going by what you see here on the tip of the pencil, again, you're going to spend a whole lot of time grabbing colors, laying them out on a scrap sheet of paper, seeing what the actual color is, and then even after that, trying to see what goes nicely together before even putting them down on your coloring page. So having a swatch chart and being able to see all of the colors so that I can actually just look at the colors and then come up with a color combination so that I can then take that color combination and bring it to my coloring page, it just makes my life so much easier. So for instance, if I wanted to put together a pink color combination, my pinks start from right about here, go all the way down here, and then they go all the way back up to here. Like I said, there are a ton of colors in this set. You have 180 colors, so there are so many. There are a ton of pinks. Even this purple has a little bit of pink in it, but if you have all your colors laid out, you can see the undertone of each and every one of the colors. So I went and grabbed a sheet of the Spring Hill paper, and I'm going to show you how easy it is if you have a swatch chart and have all your colors laid out already to put together a color combination and then just test it out once real quick without having to go through all of that hassle if you didn't have your swatch chart. So again, say I wanted to put together a pink color combination. If you look at the colors, you can see that they are grouped into sections by undertone. So you can see here just by looking at the chart that these three here have the same undertone, and then from here to here, these three have the same undertone. And then as I move up here, you can see that these three here are all different values but share the same undertone. And I enjoy doing my charts like this because it makes it so much easier when I just want to pick three colors, put them together, and lay them down on my coloring page and get started coloring. So when I'm putting a color combination together, I like to use a color that is very, very dark for my shadows and to create all that extra depth. Then I like to go to a mid-tone where the value is much less than the darkest color. And then I like to go to a very, very light color that is quite a few values less than my mid-tone. And when I say the value of the color, I just mean how dark the color is or how light the color is. So let's go ahead and put together a color combination. I'm going to show you how I would do that and how easy it is when you already have your colors laid out for you. Now I'm going to go down here where the colors are much darker. So I'm going to go with Ruby Rose, and then I want a color that is quite a bit lighter than that one. So I'm just going to go up the chart just a little bit, and I'm going to go with Bubblegum. So I have Ruby Rose and Bubblegum. And then you can totally tell just by looking at your chart how these colors are going to look together before even swatching them out and testing them, because they're actually laid out right in front of you. So I'm going to go with Ruby Rose, Bubblegum, and then I have to go a bit lighter than the Bubblegum. So I think I'm going to go to Hot Pink. And having my chart makes it so easy to pull the colors from my swatch chart, because once I lay all my colors out in color family order on my swatch chart, I put them in that same order into my colored pencil case. So if I'm going with Ruby Rose, which is right here, I just flip my case open to where I have all my pinks, and it's very easy for me to find Ruby Rose. It's actually right here. So I'm going to pull that color, and then the next color I wanted was Bubblegum, and then I can see that the Bubblegum is 1, 2, 3 down from that, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and my Bubblegum is right there in the same exact order as my swatch chart. And then I wanted Hot Pink, and Hot Pink is going to be a little bit further down, and it is right here, again in the exact order that I have it listed on my swatch chart. So then once you use your swatch chart to go ahead and choose your color combination, it makes it so much easier, because you only really have to test it out one time to make sure it looks good together before bringing it to your coloring page. And whenever I'm coloring, you will probably notice I just always hold my pencils in my hand, and I always keep them in the order of the color combination from darkest to lightest, so I'm not grabbing the wrong color, especially when I'm using a budget set. If I had my Prismacolors or my Polychromos or a much more expensive set, I can depend a lot more on the barrel of the pencil matching the color that comes from the pencil, so I don't necessarily have to do that. But I have gotten in such a habit of just holding my pencils in my hand and holding them in the right order, and that is especially important for the Crayolas, because the Crayolas can get a little bit confusing if you're not holding them in your hand in the order of the colors as you want to use them. So my darkest color is the Ruby Rose, and my mid-tone is the Bubblegum, and my lightest color is the Hot Pink. But look how pretty those colors go together. And it was so simple because I had my swatch chart and all of the colors are already laid out for me. So I could actually see them and be able to determine how they're going to look before even testing them out. And then after doing that, I could just go right to my coloring book. And if I'm coloring a flower, this is a gorgeous color combination for a flower. So I could actually see the colors on my swatch chart, and it makes it so much easier to know how they're going to look together before I even swatch them out on my scrap sheet of paper. Colors swatched out would be because you want to get very familiar with your colored pencil set and the colors that are in that set. Even in my coloring classes, when I'm starting with someone brand new and they are very much a beginner and they come to their first class and they don't have their colored pencils swatched out on a swatch chart, I always encourage them to take the time out before the next class, swatch out all their colors, because I just think it is so important to become very familiar with just one colored pencil set. And if you have all the colors swatched out, you can actually see the colors, you know what they're going to look like when you lay them down on your coloring pages. And as you start to use the colors from the same colored pencil set over and over and over again, you will start to get to know exactly what colors work together to create beautiful color combinations, and you will eventually get to the point where you don't even have to do this. Because if you are working towards putting together colors and creating color combinations, you can be using a color combination chart just like this one. This is available in my Etsy shop as well. But as you go through and you start to create color combinations, make sure that you are writing them down and swatching out the colors so that as time goes on, you can just grab your color combinations that you already have, then go to your pencil case and just grab those colors. But I do encourage you to also make sure you're keeping a binder. If you have purchased a color combination chart like this one from my Etsy shop, or you have purchased another one, or you save them all in just a little notebook, I encourage you to always keep your color combinations, because once you have focused on using just the same colored pencil set so that you can get really familiar with them, you will have tons of color combinations so that you can just go to your pencil case and pull the colors that you want. And it just makes coloring so much faster. It makes it so much more relaxing, and you don't have to get frustrated when you're trying to put colors together. But I just thought it was important to make this video just so you can understand why it's so important to swatch out all your colors. And if you have colored pencil sets that you have not swatched out yet, grab a chart and start swatching. So I hope this video encouraged you to do just that. But I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.